Yeah, once again, you're welcome to KAYODE ADEWALE online class. And this is a page where you can get 21st century content that can improve student learning in mathematics. And of course, just of recent time, we felt we can also create a content that can assist researcher and undergraduate and postgraduate students, especially in the areas of statistics. And that is why we deem it fit that we need to correct some kind of impression, especially this time around when people are carrying out researches in many cases. So we've treated a lot of topics related to statistics. We've looked into central tendency. Of course, we know different types of statistics is basically divided into two. And when we look at it now, we look at the central tendency, the measure of dispersion. We look into the, from there we move away there, we look at the measure of varieties of statistical tools. We also look at test of difference, we look at test of relationship and the like. But under the comments of the video we did, which is on the video that has to do with measure of central tendency, we saw a comment where someone is asking us, where someone wants to know if sometimes you are given, at what point do you determine the class size? How do you know the numbers of the class interval or the numbers of classes that will be in a frequency distribution, especially when you are asked to construct a frequency distribution table? Because we have seen a lot of cases like this. Unlike this case now, if you look at this case that I have on the screen with you here, you will see that here they just said you should construct a frequency distribution. Now, when somebody is asking you to construct a frequency distribution and the person did not give you the class size as well as the numbers of class interval, they just give you the data and you are asked to construct a frequency distribution. I know this might have been causing a lot of there is a lot of misconception around this, and that is why I said, okay, let's just put up. And when we saw the comment, we are like, let's do something around this. Of course, many students will just look at this like this and they will just think, what is the smallest number here? When they look at it now, they can just go ahead and search for the smallest number and they will look at it and, oh, what's the smallest number here? I think the smallest number here is 40. They'll just say the lowest number here is 40. And of course, they will look at it, where is the highest number here? And they will just look at it, search the number and say the highest number here is what? It's just 79. Of course, with this, they will just go and start constructing a class interval. They will just say, let it start from 40 to 50, and let it move away from 51 to 60, and let it move away from 61 to 70 and the likes. No, you can't do it in that way. If you do it in that way, you have committed what you call statistical error, and that's a big error because eventually your results will not be correct. Majorly, we have some what is it called? Some experts, or let me say some statistician or some of our teachers, when they want to give questions sometimes, they can just come up with different things. Some can just look at, many people thought, you know, when you see a set of number like this, you will just give the class interval. No, they don't just give class interval. There are ways to determine the class interval. There are ways to determine the class interval and to determine the class size. And everything you want to do is around this set of number. That is an observed data. Unlike this one now, this could be a scores of student that somebody have observed a scores of student and they have seen that this scores of a student, this is a scores of a student, and they want to do a kind of they want to construct a frequency distribution table. In constructing the frequency distribution table, you don't just do class interval. There are things to determine. So what are those things do you determine? Because some examining body will not give you, they may decide not to give you the class interval. Some may say, okay, some can even say from 40 to 50, from what is it called? 51 to 60, and they'll put comma like that. So you definitely know the next one will be 61. Yes, because they have been able to use the formula to determine the class size, and they as well know the numbers of the class interval. But if peradventure they did not do it, they just give you a raw data. That means it is left for you as a student or as a researcher to determine your class size and determine your numbers of class interval. Let's take this for instance now. You have this data and somebody asks you to construct a frequency distribution, and that person did not give you the class interval. So the first thing you need to do is to first of all know the numbers of classes. You first of all need to know the numbers of classes. How many class interval am I going to have? So in knowing that, you will use a formula that will call C. You will use a formula that will call, and it's a constant value. You say C equals that is the number of classes that will be inside this thing. So in determining that, you say your C is equals 1 plus 3.322 log n, where that capital N is the numbers of the observed. That's the numbers of the observed variable. That's the number. So when we look at this now, so that means our n is, when I count this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 multiplied by 3, that is 30. Now, another thing I want us to know before we go into this place is that, one thing I want us to know is that once a raw data, because some people just believe there is difference between group data and ungrouped data. How do you know when to group a data? If a data is between, if a data is 5, if a data is between 5 and 19, you can use ungrouped data. Just do the data rawly and determine what you want to determine. But once the data is 20 and above, once the data is 20 and above, you need to construct a frequency distribution for that data. That's the rules. That's the rules. That is, with a maximum of 20 classes, with a maximum of 20 classes, where there is a large amount of observation. So when you have it like that, you need to go and construct a frequency distribution table so that you'll be able to determine whatever you want to determine. So as for this case now, when you look at it now, the observed data, which is what? Which is your n. Well, as I said, your n is the observed data. So when we look at this now, how many is all this data here? They are all 30. So I want to determine the number of classes I'm going to have in this frequency distribution table now. So since my observed value is what? Is 30. So I'll say my C is equals 1 plus 3.322 is a constant value log n, and my log n is what? Is 30. So I will have to go to my 4-figure table and check log 30, or you press your calculator. So your C is equals to 1 plus 3.322 multiplied by, what is log 30? What is log 30? What is log 30? Let's check what is log 30 telling us. My calculator. So what is log 30? Let's determine the log 30. For those of us that are joining us, let's quickly look at, especially, I know the person that raised this question is with me online. So, and I want you to quickly do that. So what is log 30? Log 30. So log 30 is log 30 is 1.4771. That is log 30. So you now multiply that your log 30. That means C is equals to 1 plus 3 point, which is a constant value, 3.322 multiplied by 1.4771. And that will give me 4.9069. So when I had 4.9069, 4.9069, then plus 1, that will give me 5.9069. Approximately, you approximate it to the nearest whole number. That is the rules. Approximate it to the, so to the nearest whole number now, this is just what? 6. So that means the numbers of classes I'm going to have must be 6. The numbers of classes I'm going to have must be what? Must be 6. What about the class size? The class size. Now you know that the numbers of classes you are going to have must not be more than what? 6. What about my class size? Let's see the class size. The formula to get your class size is what? Is range over numbers of what? Numbers of classes. So that's the reason why you need to first of all determine the number of your classes. So the range now, what is range? I've said the smallest number, the biggest number here is what? Is 79. And the smallest, so range is what? Let me define range. Range is highest minus lowest. Highest number minus lowest number. And of course, our numbers of classes is already what? Is already known, which is 6. So when you move away from there now, so the highest figure here is what? Is 79 minus lowest figure is what? Is 40. So let's take 40 away from 79 minus 40. Yes, that will give us 39 to be divided by 6. Let's divide 39 divided by 6. 39 divided by 6. And that will give us 6.5. Like I said, anything you get here, you are approximating it to the nearest whole number. So the nearest, so the class size now is what? The class size of this data is what? Is 7. So we have got that now. So that means our numbers of classes is just what? 6. And our class size is what? Is 7. So once you have done that now, you have the liberty, you have the confidence to construct your frequency table. So let me clean this side. Let me clean this side so that we get out on time. Because I want us to look at one more example, especially that person that sent the question on the comments. So in constructing this now, you already know that the numbers of classes you are to get now is what? Is 6. And your class size is what? Is 7. Let's see whether it is going to be true. Whether everything here will fall into 6 classes. So now we can now say our class interval now. Then we don't need anything because we just want to determine class interval. So that's the only thing. We have done all this before. So the class interval. So what's the smallest number? The lowest number is what? Is 40. So, and they have said our class what? Our class size is what? Is 7. So your class size now is what will be adding to this. If I add 4 to this, if I add 7, I'm adding 7 to 40. That will give me 40 what? 47. If I add 7 to 47 again, that will give me, I'm adding 7 to this. 7 plus this, that will give me 54. Is that right? Like I said, if anything is, okay, so let's say 40 plus 7, that's 47, plus 7 again, because the class size 54, plus 7 again, that is 61, plus 7 again, plus 7 again, that is what? 75. So when you look at it now, so plus 7 again, 75 plus 7. I'm just giving you that confidence. That is what? 82. Okay, so from here now, because we've said our what? Numbers of classes is what? Is 6. When you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All this number must be within that word, that 6 number. And you must not do it in such a way that one of the classes will not have frequency. It's not possible if you really use the formula. So next one now. So we are adding 7 to what? So 40. So that 40 will be what? 46, of course. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. You can see that is 7. So the class size is what? The class size is what? Is 7. So this one will be what? Look at it. Just take one away from this. 53. Take one away from the next one. 60. Take one away from the next one. 74. take 1 away from this, so this just add 7 to this, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87. So that is what? 87. So that is the numbers of the classes you are to what? You are to have. Can we see that now? So the numbers of classes now is what? Is what we are seeing here. So what about the next thing to do now? So with this now, you already have your what? Your class interval. Your class interval. Let's take one more example. So once we take this one more example, I will give you an assignment. So let me see if you have any comment. I know that person is here with me. Okay. So at the end of the day now, so we now have our class what? Our class numbers of classes is now what? Is now 6. And our what? Our class size is what? Is 7. So let's take another example. Let me take another example. So I want to assume, especially those that send the question to me, exactly the question that person sent to me is what I want to solve now. That question that person sent to me is, I just decided to start with smallest. You know, of course, mathematically, you have to start from smallest to what? To the highest. Now, let us assume again that you are given a set of data. Someone is giving a set of data. Someone is giving a set of data that what? That is 60. The n is equal to 60. Someone is giving a set of data where the n is equal to 60. Let me take red now. So this is a question. So the n is equal to 60. The n is equal to 60. And all the observed value they give them, all the data given them, the highest data there, that is the highest figure there, is 64. And the lowest number there is 21. Highest number there is 61. The lowest number there is what? Is 21. And the total number given them is what? Is 60. Now, you want to know the numbers of classes. You want to know the numbers of classes they are going to have and the class size. Because in that question, you are not given class size at all. And they didn't bother to give you, they didn't give you class interval, as well as they did not bother to give you the class size. It's you that will determine that. So in determining that now, so the first thing is that you want to know how many classes are you going to have? How many class interval are you going to have? So you use the formula 1 plus 3.322 log what? Log n. So what is your n now? Your c is equal to 1 plus 3.322 log, your n is what? 60. So log 60. So log 60. So what is log 60? Can we check log 60 for me? Log 60. I want you to check log 60. So let's check log 60. You take your calculator and press log 60. So of course, log 60 is now giving me that c equals 1 plus 3.22. Log 60 is 1.7782. So if I do that now, so that will be 3.322 multiplied by 1.7782. So that is giving me 1 plus 5.9072. So what would that be? 1 plus 5.9072. So that will give me 6.9072. So that means the numbers of classes I'm going to have now, approximately to the nearest whole number, is what? 7. So the numbers of classes I'm going to have now must be what? is 7. Now, what is the class size of the data? The class size of the data. So the class size of this data will be, don't forget that the formula to get your class size is equals range over numbers of what? Numbers of classes. So what is our range here now? That is 61 minus 21. 61 minus 21. Sorry, this is okay, whatever. So this is the highest number there is 64. So 64 minus 21. So when you take 64 minus 21, what would that be? 64 minus 21. So that will give me the number of classes is already what? 7. So here 61, take this away from this, that will give me 43 divided by 7. So when you use 7 to divide 43, that's 43 divided by 7. Of course, that will give us, so the numbers of the class size now is what? Is 6.14. Of course, you remember you cannot have this, you can't have a decimal fraction. So you have to take it to the nearest whole number. So the nearest whole number here is what? Is 7. So that means in that wise, this one now is what? It means the numbers of classes you are going to get must be 7. And the numbers of class size is what? Is 7. So let's practicalize that. So let's arrange this now. So we can now say the class interval now, the class interval for this, we start with 21. 21. So 21 plus 7. So like I said, always save yourself from some little errors, calculation error. So 21, the class size is what? Is 7. So 21 plus 7, that is 28. So you can use your calculator. That's 28 plus 7 again. That is 35. 35 plus 7. That is 42. 42 plus 7. That is 49. Plus 7 again. That is 56. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 56 plus 7 again. That is what? 63. So that is the numbers of classes you are going to have. That's the numbers of classes you are going to have. So what will be the, all these are lower. So let's look at the upper. So 21 to what? Just take 1 away from this. 21 to 27. Take 1 to 34. Take 1 away from 42 to 41. Take 1 away from this, 48. Take 1 away from this, 55. Take 1 away from this, 60 what? 62. And this one will be what? Just add, what are you adding? You are taking it to what? Add 7 to this, which should be what? 60 what? 69. So that is your class interval. And it must be, it was what? It must have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And when you look at the number truly, you will see that 64 fall within and 21 fall within the class interval. So that is how to determine the class size and numbers of class interval you have in a frequency distribution. So from henceforth, don't go and be assuming that, oh, no, because that person did not give us the class interval, I can just do my class interval anyhow I like. If you do class interval anyhow you like, you will not get the accurate frequency. You cannot get the accurate frequency because some classes that were supposed to be what? Adjust by the formula, adjust by the formula 1 plus 3.322 log observed data will make it not get the accurate cumulative word frequency. So thank you very much. If you are joining this class for the first time, this is ADEWALE KAYODE online class, and make sure you subscribe to this channel and make sure you share this video with anyone that may be in need of this kind of video, be it undergraduate student, postgraduate student, or researcher or secondary school student. There are content here that can be useful for our secondary students as well as our elementary students. So this place is purely for mathematics, statistics, and what else again? Any content that has to do with virtual instructional engagement. Thank you and God bless you.